Kia ora Airsofters, it's me Salas back again with another product review. Special FX Ltd have loaned me a few Eshooter devices, which are tracer units, to do a bit of hands-on, to get deep and dirty and give them some feedback what I think of them. This is a new product range that Special FX is carrying here in New Zealand, so it's really cool again to see them bringing even more product to us Airsofters. So, without further ado, here are the products. We have the Flare BT tracer unit. We have the Flare BT tracer unit, and we have the Flare Smoky BT tracer unit and smoke creation device. There is a comparisons chart available on Special FX website, I'll flash it up somewhere, that shows you all the difference between the units you can get from them. These things are feature rich. So what do I mean by that? So we'll go to the top of the range. So in here we have a tracer unit. We have a muzzle flash device with alternating colors. You can choose, from a wheel, a whole different colors, whether it's purple, pink, orange, yellow, green. It also, all three of these have a chrono built into them, which is amazing. So as you're shooting away, you can, with your app on your phone, see what your muzzle velocity is. And unlike those two, this one produces smoke, which I'll get to a little bit later. So inside each box, you get the device, as well as a few other accessories. You get a USB charging cable. You get an 11mm clockwise to a 40mm counterclockwise adapter, a manual for each of the products, and an Allen key. The products themselves, I'll go through each of those. So this is the Flare BT. It's a tiny little unit. To access the back buttons on the back, you've got a mode and controls. To be honest, I haven't really used the buttons for anything other than turning the thing off, because the app is really good. To charge this one, you actually have to open up the unit. What's pretty cool about these, you can see all the battery and everything else, but there's the USB-C charging unit. Then we have the cube unit. You can't open the cube unit. It is a solid one piece, so the USB charging port is on the front here. It's just got a little bung. You might lose that. And again, just a different pub package, buttons on the back. And then the big one, you've got the Smoky. Again, unscrew it to get to the charging, and the fill. With these ones, if you want to fill them up, there's a little unit here. You can see there's quite a bit of fluid in this one. You fill that with fluid that produces the smoke, and USB-C charging on the front. There's also a product I don't have, which is the Linear Compensator, which is, fortunately, in the time it took me to get to this second half of the video, the order for Eshooter arrived at Special FX, so I can now show you those products that I mentioned earlier that I didn't have at hand. First off, the Linear Compensator on my Beeb Magnet pistol. The Linear Compensator is just a small little tracer unit. It doesn't have a variety of color. It's a single color mono, and it is just the muzzle flash. There's no smoke or anything else, and no chrono. So at $100 or 99 New Zealand dollars, it's a straightforward tracer. Looks pretty good on the pistol compared to the other ones. So this shell casing is designed for the MBT to fit inside of. It's just a drop-in, keep the orientation right, and then you screw it on. So again, I think this is more of a pistol size looking can. It's a bit heavier, so it's actually fitting quite front heavy on a pistol. Shorter form factor. So there you go, the Eshooter shell on top of the MBT. Something else worth commenting on, that with both these products you also get the 14 to 11mm adapter and an Allen key. Again, this is purely a shell. It is 69 New Zealand dollars. So if you want to have a variety or a change, you can do that. These two, the Cube and the BT, these are 149 New Zealand dollars. The Smoky, the larger one, is 190 New Zealand dollars. So it's great to have these devices out and you can see them individually, but what do they look like attached to something? So I'll do a quick show reel of them attached to a handful of different of my AEGs. So this is on my M4 Mini. Apologies, I use a 3D printed extension, which is a little bit long, so it doesn't go all the way down. Here it is again on my MP7, my gas blowback, my new toy. So if you're wondering why I'm not wearing iPro, none of these have batteries in them. None of them have any ammo or magazines, so they're completely inert. On the P90, again, even though this is the stock adapter, you can see it still doesn't thread all the way. So Now the cube's a bit harder to fit because you probably want to get to a certain orientation. Thankfully you can mostly tighten it, and then there's a little grub screw on the side here that you can tighten it so it doesn't move. And then you can get yourself that kind of chonky looking look. Well, it's a little bit off, but there we go. Here's the cube on the MP7. Again, just have to adjust that little lug screw to get it nice and tight so it stays in place. Here we have the cube on the P90. I think if I'm going to be honest, most people are going to like the more traditional looking suppressor style with the larger. This is a mini M4, it looks funny of any kind of compensator on it, to be honest, or suppressor. MP7, probably needs to be bigger for the MP7 to be honest. And lastly, where it really looks at home is on my P90. That's probably the ideal way I'd go with the P90. When it comes to controlling these, you can use the buttons on the back, but I wouldn't. I would use the app. You can turn the smoke from high to low to off. You can do chrono only, you can do a whole lot of bits and pieces. The app is really good to use and much better than trying to push buttons. What might be helpful in the middle of the game is to change the color if you wanted to. You can cycle through it with a button. It's not easily accessible when screwed onto your replica, but it's there as an option. So what does it look like when it's being used at night with the tracer on or with the smoke effect? I'll just put some video up here of me having a muck about with it, and you can see how it's going as I'm testing it. See if you can spot my blooper. So here's some pros and cons. What I like most is the price. These are really affordable, especially compared to the Smoky Wolf, which I think are a couple of $100 at the starting point. So starting for a tracer at $99 and a unit that has a chrono built into for $149, it's at the same price as actually buying a chrono, so you get a whole lot with it. The feature set's really cool. One of the things I liked when I was using this is the fact that I could put it on a random color generation. So as I was firing, the color was changing. Very gimmicky, but still be quite fun in the game when you're running around. It's easy to charge, just remove the casing, plug in the USB-C so you can charge it on the field with a power bank if you needed to, but I haven't had any problem with the battery running out. We'll be using these at a game this weekend, so we'll see how they go at night running around with them. You can actually replace from this one if you have problems with burning out the reservoir that holds the liquid in it. You can actually go and buy a replacement, and it's just take it in and out. That replacement's $19. So they've thought about stuff. Apparently if you run these dry, it's really easy to burn the filament, so you always keep them full of fluid. So what are my cons? Well, these are really shiny and they're fingerprint magnets. I preferred the Smoky Wolf's more matte finish. It's a nitpick, but that's my preference. The cube, not really my cup of tea at all. I think the Osprey suppressors that are a lot longer would look more interesting. It's just, I don't see the practicality and the versatility of it, to be honest. With the Smoky, I didn't like the smoke generation. I thought it looked like someone that was just puffing away and the smoke was just kind of flowing out. What I preferred with the Smoky Wolf, it looked like it was coming out in puffs, and it didn't have a whole lot of excess afterwards. Even on the low mode, I didn't like the smoke generation. So I would recommend, if you want a smoke muzzle flash device, get a Smoky Wolf. If you want a tracer and you'd like a little bit of smoke used to it, then go with the Eshooter Smoky. So which is my favorite of the three? Well, to be honest, it's the little MBT. Why do I like this? Because this little modular unit can be used and put inside other suppressors. It's 3D printed ones in my case. So here's one that I printed. I can drop the unit in and then just placing it where I want to, I've now got a completely different look for my suppressor. You can print them yourself, but yeah, I like that. I like the modularity. I like that I can play around and do something different. And I think this looks a little bit better on some of my AEG, so I might show some photos of what I did with that. So next, I'm going to take these to an actual game and use them and see how they go. I'll have some final thoughts to share with you, but for now, here's some footage from that game.
Oh, good shot. Hit. You good? Lock down that middle. Someone get on that door, that outside door. Opening a door. Someone in the middle. Dead man. One in this far corner. He's just outside the door. Three down, one to go. Friendly my ass.
Yep. I mean, it's a full arm.
Right, I'm back. It's been a few days. Unfortunately, I didn't make it to the CQB game. However, the Jonos from Special FX ran out some cameras from me and captured that footage, which was really cool of them. Thank you very much, guys. The GoPro footage didn't do justice to the tracers, but the phone seemed to pick it up a little bit better. So hopefully you can see a little bit what's going on. However, these are really things you have to see in person to get the full effect. So what are my final thoughts? Well, it's an interesting range. What I really like about it is the chrono. I think the chrono built-in adds value and makes it kind of a no-brainer if you're on the market for chrono. What was some interesting feedback to me post the game was that the Smoky actually looked a lot better in play, and I think that makes sense. The smoke wafting out that I could see when I was testing it, I was stationary, I wasn't moving around, but on the field when people are running around, that volume of smoke actually means you can actually see it happening on the field as opposed to it just disappearing. So it's probably something to keep in mind. While it looks like a lot of smoke wafting out, it actually is fine when you're actually having it, it looks more realistic. Would I recommend them? Definitely. If you're after a chrono, if you're after a tracer, they're great. Still, if you want to get that smoky look, it's something you want to kind of see in person and try out and see if you like. But personally, I've got my Martina Mini. I don't think I would buy the Smoky to replace that. But if you are looking for a smoke generating tracer, muzzle flash and chrono, you can't go too wrong on it. Last point on the price, I did compare the Airsoft devices, the Smoky Wolf devices and the Eshooter. Eshooter comes out much more affordable and feature packed. So I hope this was helpful and you enjoyed watching. I'm hoping we'll do more reviews. It's really awesome that Special FX have been there lending me stuff to show. So thank you guys at Special FX and thanks everyone for watching.
Follow me and my team, the Beeb Magnets, on Facebook and Instagram. Find out more about Taranaki Airsoft Rangers, my home club. I'm proud to be sponsored by Special FX Retail. And a huge thanks to Unlimited Airsoft in Wellington, exclusive BB supplier to the Beeb Magnets. If you enjoyed my content, please like, subscribe, and get notified.